Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and before we begin I want to make sure that I thank you for being an amazing community. It's my biggest blessing on this channel to connect with you, and I'm proud to be a part of this wonderful community with you guys. So I wanted to make sure I say this clearly. Thank you guys for being here. And today's reading is all about what do people assume about you and what are people's first impression of you. And to do this reading, we're going to pick out 4 piles together. I see one popping up. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay. We're missing the 4. Yep, there we go. Last but not least. So for pile number 1, we have the silver bow. For pile number 2, we have bat. For pile number 3, we have Aradia. And for pile number 4, we have Cloak. So take a look at which one of these pictures you're the most drawn to. And that's probably the pile for you here today. As usual, if you feel drawn to more than one pile, if you feel drawn to all the piles, trust your intuition. It will always guide you to the right reading. And as usual, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box. Click on your times and I'll see you in your readings. Hi, pile number 1. So you've chosen this beautiful silver bow. And I think I've become pretty good at hiding my initial reactions when the cards come out. Because when this one popped out, I was very surprised that it came in this reading. So let me give you a little bit of background, a quick background before we get into how people see you. Because the silver bow here is an apple branch, and it's a symbol of the goddess of love, Aphrodite. We're going to talk about what apples mean in a second, but what I can see here, first and foremost, pile number 1, whether you're a male or a female, what you present as, people really see you as a very blessed person, where a lot of people initially feel like life was so easy for you, it gave you everything, and you're pretty blessed in life, you have it all. And while a lot of it is true, you were very blessed, pile number 1, with a lot of things that you had, a lot of it as well you had to work for and create for yourself. So you'd be thinking, wow, these people don't know how much I had to work and create the reality that I have, either on myself, my balance, or everything that I have, or my work. And while that is true, pile number 1, at the same time, you are also missing here a spot. You are very blessed with so many areas in your life, and you got used to all these beautiful blessings that you kind of think it's normal to have them. And believe me, pile number 1, there are so many things that you have. If you just take time to think about them, you'll notice that you have so many things that people would have to work so much towards and create in their life to begin with. Perhaps your intelligence, your level of skills, your family, your looks, because it's coming out very strong here, your strong character. You are blessed, pile number 1, in so many ways. Your class, your education, it's just, there are so many blessings to you that came so easily to you, that's true, sorry about that, that the people around you can see and feel, and you come off as a very lucky person that shines. You attract a lot of people's glares and stares, you attract a lot of people's attention. They feel like someone important and blessed came into the room when they first see you. Pile number 1, and I would like to give you an advice here. Take the time, because you seem like someone who works hard. You seem like you do it so effortlessly. But in fact, pile number one, you did work hard for a lot of the things that you have. And I would really prompt you to take some time out of your constant work and your constant improvement to live and enjoy the present moment and think of all the beautiful blessings that you do have. I think it will give you a good pump, since you're already focusing on moving forward constantly. Take the time to enjoy it and to smell the roses, pile number one. So, pile number one, what can I tell you? People really feel that you as a person really shine. It seems like you have this graceful, strong personality with the apple here, because the apple is a symbol of strength. And if you take an apple and divide it into two, you'll notice that the seeds inside the apple, they form a pentacle. And this is why it's a symbol of power. And so people feel like socially you're powerful. Socially you have a powerful effect. Unfortunately, people think in terms of social scores. They don't write a score. It's a superficial world. Unfortunately, I wish people would look more into the soul, but hey, we're doing people's first impression in this reading. And so they feel like socially you're so lucky in so many ways where people perceive you to have this aura around you, like this social status, and it's kind of like you feel it without knowing. You enter with your vibe. You know you're pretty blessed. You know you have a lot of self-worth, and people can straight away feel it. Pile number one. People are quite careful with you in the beginning because they don't know whether you'll be interested in getting to know them or not. They get to talk to you a little bit, and they see a lot of grace and class and sweet energy to you, but is very much presented with confidence and strength. And I think this is a combination that really people enjoy in the beginning. They see it come from you very naturally, pile number one. You're not concerned most of the time about what they're gonna think if you do this, or what people are gonna think if you do that. You do it naturally. Mistakes happen and you shrug and you move on. It doesn't take away from who you are, and people can really sense that. They sense that you're not out there trying to impress anyone, and you feel impressive to yourself. You enjoy who you are, and so this gives the air of the attraction of people. This allows people to feel like they're attracted to you as well, because of the energy that you send out, pile number one. Right away, people see you as a decent person. You don't seem like the kind of person who would manipulate others, who would be selfish and try to take things for their own. You seem like a decent, honest person who is trustworthy. People know that if they become friends with you, they'd be becoming friends with a responsible person who is calm and is not going to do anything crazy. It's just going to be this peaceful, strong friend who is going to stay if it is respectful and mature, and will definitely be walking out if it's not. And that is straight away what people definitely sense about you when they see you. They can see through the way you behave is that you will be that sort of person who will stay when they want and will leave when they want. Will stay when it's decent, when it's nice. You, of course, give off the impression that you want to talk to cerebral people, nice people, mature people, and will be walking away from any sort of drama or any behavior that you don't like. In fact, some people try to test you sometimes, and they realize straight away that they've just messed up, and it's now becoming a very slim opportunity for them to get closer to you. Some of these try to fix this, and you may allow it in after a while of them proving that they're going to respect you, and even then you have a red flag here in your head, while others, they're definitely out. Pile number 1. I can straight away tell you here, pile number 1, that even though you're very blessed, I kind of feel that you have gone through some tough times recently. And when the silver bow card is out, by the way, it really shows that it's an omen to some great times coming up for you, and that there's a message here out of this reading. Just thought I should let you know that it's the end of an era and the beginning of a new era where you're going to start experiencing the blessings that you usually experience, pile number 1. So all the best of luck with that. All right. So moving back to the reading, what are people's first impressions of you? Ooh, you have the Page of Swords here. Yes, pile number 1, people's first impressions of you clearly is that you're a person who likes to educate themselves. You love to read. You come across as a person who can talk about different topics in a setting. You know about a lot of things, and the more people listen to you, they love learning about your take towards different things. They're surprised with how much you know, and not just that, not just how much you know, how it's in so many different areas that sometimes are really not related. And the more they get to know you, see, you have this, people love listening to you. You can talk about different things. You like to search for unique information, and by unique here, you're interested in finding out the truth about the things that you read. So you really dig deep and try to read different books, different articles, different experts, so that you're able to form a great opinion. And you're not doing that to impress others. You're genuinely doing that because you're a curious person. You love to learn, and you collect information in order to improve yourself. Remember when in the beginning we talked about how you like to take the time to improve yourself and move forward in life, and a lot of the things you've done, people think you've just been blessed with, but in fact you have worked on. And this is why you've educated yourself in so many different fields. And when you're in a setting with different people that you've met for the first time, and people start talking to you, they realize that you're engaging in so many topics. And not only that, but you're giving out unique information about the things you've read or heard about or you've been through, and you come off as a well-rounded person who's well-read, and people find you genuinely interesting to listen to, pile number 1. Isn't that amazing? Ooh, you have the King of Wands here. So pile number 1. While you may seem all calm and cool and confident on the outside, when people get to talk to you a little bit in the beginning, they get this first impression of a dragon inside a chilled person. So they would find you calm, poised, but at the same time, of course, when they talk to you, they find how passionate you are about different things in life. And then they start putting the picture together of why you have learned so much, because you're a passionate person by heart. The reason you improve so much is because you have passion towards your goals. You have passion towards the things that you genuinely want to do. And it is this passion that pushes you to dig and find deeper meanings in things, deeper information, deeper connections. There's so much passion that only comes out what is that? Apologies about that. That only comes out when people come close to you. They will still see your poise and confidence, but they get to see the spice in your personality. And when people first meet you, they get to see sprinkles of that, but they have to get to know you more to take off the layers and find out just how much of a passionate person you are. You may seem all collected, but when you're in a loving relationship, you're definitely a passionate lover. When you're with friends, you're a passionate friend. You're there for them. When you work, you're a passionate worker, and you put your best to create the best. Pile number 1. At this point, pile number 1, people start questioning, oh, okay, what don't you have then? You know, this idea of them feeling like you've got it all, it just keeps increasing the more they get to know you. Pile number 1. It becomes intimidating to a lot of people. Sometimes you harbor jealousy towards you, but you know, pile number 1, you really don't care. Like I said, you walk away from things that are not serving you. You don't try to engage in the jealous people's tactics and maneuvers, the gaslighting, whatever they try to do. You don't care about their opinion. You don't care about anything. You quietly take yourself out of these dramatic, hateful situations, because just like the silver bow suggests here, you have a quiet, peaceful aura around you. Your space is sacred. You keep it with that peace, and you let any toxicity out. You're very protective of this beautiful aura that you've created, that you believe in. Pile number 1, that is part of your character. Yes, of course. You have fighting, which is the Knight of Swords. You have clinging to the past, which is the 5 of Cups. And you have the Fool. So straight away, I don't know why this message is really popping up in your reading again. Perhaps you need to hear about this. Pile number 1, if you've been through some tough times in the past, it seems like you're about to embark on a new beginning that's going to open up your world again. So if you're in a kind of a bottleneck and you are wondering when you're going to get out of it, it seems like it's about to happen for you pretty fast with the Knight of Swords. So pile number 1, look at what I see here with for your, in terms of your first impression of people. You seem to be a person who's not intimidated. You are not afraid of being bold and creating the first contact, the first conversation. You, however, feel at some point, if the conversation keeps going towards boring topics, or if it continues to be a little bit too much superficial for a long time, I feel like internally you kind of struggle to continue with that type of energy because you do not enjoy it. And as like I told you, you like to think deeper, and it kind of shows with the people talking to you. They feel like, hey, she was so, or he was so talkative and passionate and sweet. What happened? They just went off. And pile number 1, this is because, yes, you're a great communicator with people. You know how to entertain them while talking in the beginning, but if it gets too much, your head just goes off. You're like, okay, now that's enough. I at this point, I would have hoped that it would get a little bit deeper, but it's not happening, and people can really sense this about you, and they start learning more about you as time goes by. That yes, the initial greetings and the initial fun conversation for the first couple of minutes, it's okay to be superficial, but you're kind of expecting things to go little by little, a little bit deeper, with some interesting things to talk about rather than people. Or yeah, remember that quote of not focusing on people or events, but rather focusing on ideas? I think that definitely pertains to a lot, pile number 1. Now, initially, you give off this innocent impression of you, pile number one. And sometimes people misunderstand that. A lot of the times people can see with how poised you are that you're not going to take, you're a smart person and you're not going to take anyone's attempts to try to fool you one way or the other. But you do have the reoccurring people who take you, who take your kindness, or they take your graceful attitude at face value and start feeling like, hey, you're too good or you're too kind. They can start messing up with you if they want to. And then they realize straight away that you're a strong person who does not allow bad behavior to happen. They'll be surprised to see you standing up for yourself, calling someone off, even if it's graceful, telling someone, hey, I did not like that. You have that kind of confidence. You're not going to take bad behavior. Even though you're nice, you're a confident person and you stand up for what you don't like, and you're going to tell someone, hey, you just did that and I don't like it, I'm sorry. So they quickly find out that this innocence that you exude is just coming from a good, pure heart and not from a weak place at all. They quickly find out about that with a look, with an attitude, with moving away, with saying something. They quickly pick up that you didn't like it. And in fact, pile number one, it takes them some time to redeem their first impression with you in order for you to think you can actually engage with them again. Pile number one. So kudos to you there. I love your personality, pile number one. Beautiful, beautiful person. Now, with the Five of Cups here, I see about you is that the first impression that you make on other people is quite honestly the same impression that they're going to keep having about you moving forward. Like I said, you're not here trying to pretend or play or impress. You are who you are. And by time they realize that the first impression that they had about you is really you moving forward. So not only do you give a good first impression, you keep it moving forward. Because a lot of the time, some other people would give an impression, and then you get to know them and realize that they're not what they thought in the beginning. But your first impression, pile number one, is exactly who you are. You show your strength from the beginning. You show your kindness, your blessings. You're just out there confidently but calmly and moving forward. People realize it only gets better from there, and that their first impression of you was actually really true. So pile number one, I love your first impression. I love your character and your poise. It was an honor doing this reading for you. And if you've enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number two. So you've chosen the bat. And as you may know, bats are the only mammals that can fly. And so the first impression that you give people that really surprises them is that there's a duality, a unique duality to you that they don't usually see in most people, a surprising duality. So this could be things like you're good looking but very smart, or you're a very blessed person but humble. Other things could be perhaps like being on the thinner side, but you're able to eat what you want. And of course, I'm not here advocating for unhealthy eating. I'm just saying the kind of things that people, examples of the things that people can notice about you in the beginning. Perhaps you're very organized, but you're fun and outgoing. Other examples are maybe you're into finances or a very technical job, but you take very good care of how you look. And these are the sort of examples that I'm giving you to make you understand what I see about you here, is that you have this unique combination that really knocks people off their socks when they first see you. They're not used to seeing people with unique combinations like that. Pile number one. You also give off an impression of being someone who is a great judge of character. Because bats, they have an acute sense of hearing, and they use their ultrasonic echolocation to navigate. And you perhaps, pile number two, have this piercing look to you. It's like, I know you. And people straight away feel like you're not going to take BS from people. You're not going to take bad behaviors. Like, you see through their soul. You really get who they are very quickly. You're a great judge of character, and because of that, you're able to judge who may be doing what, and you're prepared for it. A lot of the times you're not taken by surprise, because before everyone else, you're able to notice what character will be doing what, according to sensing things that other people may miss out. Like, you're able to detect what they're thinking, or what their characters are, or how they're feeling, according to where their eyes are wandering, or how they're looking at things, how they're moving, the little things that they say in between their stories, or the ideas that they have. You're just really quickly able to detect that something is not right, something is wrong. This person could be the person who does this and this, but not this and that. And it really makes you prepared for anything that you might not like socially in a setting. And people can really see that. They can see that you see through them, and that you understand what they're up to. So that's one of the very first impressions that people have about you when they see you, pile number two. Another thing that I see here about you, pile number two, is that you appear to people from the very beginning to be a very free soul. You do what suits you. You do what you like. You're not afraid to say your opinions. You're not afraid to walk to the beat of your own drums, to go against the grain, to live life differently than how people live it, because you only believe in living your true self. And people quickly can see that about you, because it seems like you're a bold person who is living life actually quite differently, and people are quite surprised. Oh, you do this. Oh, you do that. Oh, you're not getting married until that. Oh, you're not into this. You're not into that. And these are a result of you thinking deeper about things, navigating through life the way you believe you should live it. And you've chosen a different path in so many ways than other people. And people can clearly see these differences about you when they first meet you. There's a lot of respect to your boldness, and to the way you confidently display these differences, pile number one. You actually make people self-reflect here. You make people think, hey, well, if pile number two is so confidently being free from all this stigma and living their life the way they want, maybe I could be inspired a little bit to do that as well. Well, they seem to be okay. Why shouldn't I be confident about the things that I want to? So you're a walking inspiration, pile number two, in so many ways from the very beginning. And just by you walking in the street, doing different things, you don't even have to be in a friend or in a setting for people to realize how confident you are about how different you live your life. People meet you in different places. They watch how confident and bold you are about the different ways you live your life and do things, and you inspire a lot of people by just flying by to do things differently, pile number two, and to live their authentic life. And this is why you have rebirth in consciousness in your card. Okay, So pile number 2. You have the 6 of Cups here. And there's another layer to here. You are a helpful person, pile number 2. While you are unique and you go your own way, you do not mind helping other people attain that kind of freedom. You don't push them towards it. You don't judge them about it. You move on with your life. You're not stuck in any place. But if you feel like other people would want your help, you're quick to offer your help. And that's so sweet about you, pile number 2. You offer it with confidence and strength. If they don't want to take it, you move on. If they appreciate the help you're giving, you'll happily stay and give them the advice and get back to them whenever they want you to, and to actually help them out, have the blessings that you've had one day, and to grow into being the best version of themselves, pile number 2. It shows me a lot of honesty about you. It shows me your confidence, and it shows me that you do not compare yourself to other people. You walk your own lane, and that's what's giving you all this freedom. And you don't mind that other people around you get better, pile number 2. You're very you're kind with your compliment when you want to give one. You're not intimidated. You hold it off if you feel like people aren't going to be taking it the right way, but you do not mind giving people compliments and saying nice things about them if you feel like someone has inspired you one way or the other, or if they're doing something impressive, pile number 2. So the 6 of Cups is also about nostalgia, connecting to people from the past. And here this combination is giving me an understanding that you're a very social person. It shows off from the very beginning. It's almost like you're a social butterfly, and you know so many people. And the first impression that people have about you is that not only are you a social person easily, but you're also someone who knows a lot of people, surprisingly. So you could say, hey John, hey Jack, hey Melanie, hey, and people are like, whoa, this person knows so many people. When did they get to know all these people? So you come off as a person who easily socializes with other people. It comes so naturally to you, while other people could enter a room and feel intimidated. They have to think about a lot of things. What do I do when this person doesn't talk to me? What do I do with my hands? What do I do when nobody's talking to me? What do I do if someone says this and that? There's so many preparation. To you, it's just so natural. You get into the room, socialize, get to know people. It's natural to you. Everything comes at ease. You naturally know what to do if you don't like something. It's just so natural to you. You don't think about a lot of things that other people think about when socializing, pile number 2. You also have the 10 of Cups here, pile number 2, and this shows me that when people get to talk to you and to know you, see, you're coming off as you have a beautiful heart inside that strong exterior. And when people start talking to you in the beginning, they find out, they realize that you're actually easy to talk to, quite a decent, loving person, quite helpful, as we suggested here. And they feel at ease talking to you. They feel like, hey, I overestimated this. They're genuinely nice people who connect well, quite humble. And you'd find these people going to their friends. I actually went and talked to pile number 2. They're surprisingly very nice, actually. Oh, really? Are they? Yeah, they were nice and they talked, and you can see you still exude this confidence. You still exude that strength. But people are pleasantly surprised to realize that you're actually a good, normal person who's nice to people, and you welcome conversations, you welcome people coming to talk to you, And that's why there's so much ease in talking to other people. People really enjoy you when they start talking to you, and that initial intimidation is like, oh, they relax. You know what I'm getting the feeling of? When you have an exam, I know it's not that big, don't get me wrong, but I'm just trying to tell you the kind of experience that people go through. When you have an exam, you've studied for it, but you're pretty worried. You don't know what tricky questions are coming in. You don't know if you're going to be able to answer these questions or pass. And then you get the paper and you look at them and go, oh, well, that's not so bad. I can do that. And that's the kind of feeling that people get. You still keep your respect, but people are grateful that they can talk to you with ease and that you turned out to be such a lovely person after all. Pile number 2, loving your personality. love your personality. Pile number 2. Okay, so you have the 7 of Swords. Pile number 3. So what I'm seeing here is that people's first impression of you is that you're quite protective of the things that are important to you. While you're easy to talk to, as people will discover, and great to deal with, you're very protective. If you talk about a certain topic that is dear to your heart, you're going to be bold, you're going to talk about it, and it's no longer about what the other person is going to think. It's never really about what the other person is going to think. But what I mean here, you're not too concerned about what the other person is going to think, how they're going to judge you, what they're going to think about it. If this dynamics is going to be a little bit intimidating again, it doesn't matter. What you hold dear, the ideas that are important for you in life, you will boldly talk about it and you will say your opinion, and you really don't care what other people are going to think, whether they're going to take it or not. But you are passionate about the things you believe in, and you're not going to hold off, and you are going to talk about it. And that goes with a lot of other things. You're nice, but if someone disrespects you, interrupts you, you're going to let them know. You're not afraid of losing the peace. And while you would love to create peace, not love, you create peace with people. But if that goes against your values, who you are as a person, remember we said you fly off and you're free. If it goes against your respect, if it goes against the project you're working on, you don't mind shaking up that piece a little bit to make sure things are put back in perspective and that you're living your true authentic self. Gosh, I love your personality, pile number 2. I mean, I want to say who are you, but it's becoming a joke in the channel here, me constantly wondering about your personalities. But I genuinely, if you want to know in my heart, I really want to say who are you and how do you do it and what do you do. I'd love to get to know more about you. I admire your personality, pile number 2. Love, love, love it. Okay, so like we said, you are not afraid to shake off the peace just to make sure that your point is across, what is valuable to you comes across. And pile number 2, you do not like betrayal. May they seek protection. Those who think they can betray you, pile number 2, because it's not going to be nice at all, and they're definitely going to be paying for it. They're definitely going to be paying for it. You do not allow that type of energy in your life. Pile number 2. You do not allow for betrayal in your life. Things are going to change like thunderbolt with betrayal here with you. Ooh, you have the 2 of Cups, represented as 2 trees here. Yeah, this is really giving me off very loyal vibes. That's why the warning here. And you have the 4 of Pentacles with the Miser. So with this combination here, I see again, do you see the amount of protection here? You protect, you're a loyal person. You protect the dear ones. You hold on to the dear ones like there is no tomorrow, unless they prove that they wanted to betray you or actually betray you, and then things are going to change completely and they're not going to like it. But you do appear to people, once they get to talk to you in the beginning, that you do seem like you're going to be someone who is going to be loyal. You're not the person to betray anyone yourself. People see how you treat the dear ones around you, how you hold on to them, how you protect them. Not hold on to them like you need them. I mean, hold on to them in terms of how important they are. You know a lot of people. Everyone seems to have a pretty positive opinion about you and how what a wonderful person you are. And there's just a lot of word of mouth about how you are a loyal person, how you're good, unless someone tests you and betrays you one way or the other. So as long as they are on your good side, they're dealing with you respectfully, lovingly, they're going to get the best from you. Pile number 2. Also, what I see here, pile number 2, is that while you know a lot of people and you're loving towards a lot of people or nice towards a lot of people, you don't have a lot of close people. You're very picky about who to get close to you, and you do hold up your your energy pretty well for quite a while, because dear relationships, they mean a lot to you. And that's why the betrayal here that we saw coming off straight in your reading. Dear connections are dear connections, and you take your time to get to know people. Even if you're starting to trust them, you take it slow. You get to observe them, see more about them. Like I said, you're a great judge of character, and you take your time to observe what other people can do, what they would do, and to see if they are worth you taking into their lives and calling them dear. Because once you open up your heart and you give it all, once you open up your heart, you give it your all, and it does sting you when these dear people disappoint you. Pile number 2. And this is why you act in a very calm manner in terms of your relationships. You don't rush into them. You take your time, no matter how much they seem honest, no matter how much they seem like they're people who you can trust. You still take your time. You take it little by little. People notice that after a while there is a little bit of skepticism here and there, and you don't mean to be skeptic. Pile number 2. You don't mean it. You're just you have your eyes wide open, making sure that the people that come in, they deserve all these emotions that you're going to be pouring out onto them. And that came from you growing up and learning that the worst can sometimes come from the best. You've seen disappointment. It stung, and the more you grow, the more you learn that it just takes time to trust people, and that's the right thing to do. So pile number 2, I gushed over your personality here. I admire your personality, and if you've enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye! Hi, pile number 3. So you've chosen Aradia, and boy, do I love Aradia. If you've been long enough on this channel, you know it's no secret how much I love Aradia. And to give you just a quick idea, Aradia is the queen of witches. She's known to be the queen of witches, and she's alleged to have lived in Italy, I think in the 14th century. She's recorded to have a striking personality. She's in fact known as the beautiful pilgrim. And Aradia is all about claiming your personal power. So what I see of you, pile number 3, is that you have a charming personality. People love looking at you. And the first impression that you give is, wow, who is that? People stare at you in the beginning. They see someone walking in with confidence and soft movement into the room, knowing exactly who they are. You smile with a charm. You talk to people with confidence and charm. Dynamics change in a setting where you are. People can see you have a strong personality and you're not afraid to use it. Yeah, so much charm in you. People are very flattered when you talk to them. They're very flattered when you deal with them. Pile number 3. Also, you seem to me like you're not someone who complains. You're not someone who complains, pile number 3, about who did this, who did what. You're so much in control of your life, and you know that the outside circumstances most of the time is a reflection of the internal world. And you, instead of complaining, pile number 3, you're just so in command of your life that you start seeing what you can do to change the reality that you don't like. So gracefully, without complaining, you quietly do what needs to change, work on what needs to change, and you change your reality. And you're not a complainer, pile number 3. You are constantly looking towards the positive or the solutions, and you go ahead and you work towards it. Even with your work, pile number 4. If we're going to talk about people's first impression of you at work, you're a proactive person. Yes, you do ask questions. It's important to ask questions, but you are the sort of person who would look it up yourself, try to learn what other people are doing, get more information, learn more about it, try it out for yourself, and watch tutorials, perhaps. Whatever it takes, you try as much as possible to figure it out for yourself. You don't complain too much about things. You have a goal, and you're calmly working towards that goal, always believing in yourself. You're confident that you will figure it out and that you're going to do it. So definitely not much of a complainer, pile number 3. Someone who opens up people's heart. They find you charming. If you're in business meeting, I don't know why business is coming in your reading like that. But if you're in a business meeting, you charm people, you're able to bring your points across, you easily change people's opinions towards where you want the deal to go. And when it comes to people in your life, they have the same sort of magic energy on them. Don't forget that Aradia is the queen of witches, and there is magic to you, pile number 3, in your charm. And you easily see people, while they had a strong opinion on something, talking to you and being charmed by you. They listen to the different opinion that you have, and you actually let people consider a different side to what they were thinking about. A lot of the times they could be charmed by you and convinced, and a lot of times at least they definitely see where you're coming from and respect your point of view about it, pile number 3. What I see as well strongly for you, pile number 3, is that people's first impression about you is that you are quite an attractive person. And while you do seem to be physically attractive, for sure, but what amplifies a lot how you look like, pile number 3, is your striking personality. Your confidence is exactly what I want to say. The way you are comfortable in your own skin, the confidence you exude, and the charm that you exude magnifies your physical looks up to 100, where people are really attracted to you, pile number 3. You come across as a very physically attractive person. And sometimes you'd have people thinking in their head, I don't know what it is about them. Why are they so attractive? And it really boils down to your confidence and how you hold yourself. That charm, I'm envisioning beautiful movement. There is magnetic movement in the way you move and walk. Magnetism is what I'm seeing. Pile number 3. Being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable in what you hold, what you touch, how you sit, how you talk. So much comfort that makes people feel at ease and absolutely charmed by you. Pile number 3. My favorite Aradia. Unbelievable. Ooh, you have the 6 of Swords here. And you know what vibe this is giving me? Do you see how this character here is feeding the bird in order for the bird to move more forward? And I'm really seeing here for you, what's the word? Not maneuvers. Allure. There is allure to you. You know, my dear pile number 3s, that there is charm to you, and you know how to be flirty a little bit, how to give, someone a kick here and a nice kick there that just allures them. And you don't do it to really, because it's a 6 of Wands, it's success after all. You're not really manipulating people. You're just having fun with your flirtiness, pile number 3, and it just works so well for you. It's a success card. I don't want to say card. It's a successful, beautiful, playful behavior that you have, that people see, they enjoy, they smile at it, and they love it. So pile number 3, you know how to be flirty, you know how to be playful, you know how to joke around with people a little bit, tongue-in-cheek kind of attitude. People love it, and that's definitely one of the first impressions that they get about you, pile number 3, which makes you even more charming, and it shows off your confidence and your playful, fun side. And there is the magnetism again. People are just attracted to you, pile number 3. And you don't mind being the center of attention, pile number 3. Do you see how there are other birds standing there watching what you're doing and playing along, moving along with you? So yeah, you come across as the center of attention. Everyone knows that they have their eyes on you. Everyone else is having their eyes on you, pile number 3. And everyone is watching, playing along, letting you do it, and enjoying your vibe. Pile number 3. Gosh, I love that. Okay, so you have, again, the allure with the devil. Do you see how the devil card is depicted in a very interesting way? You see someone dressed nicely, acting like a mushroom, but they have spiders here and alluring them, asking them to come and take it. So what I see with this card, with the devil energy here, is a lot of attractiveness to you, a lot of allure. You have traps here. So people might be thinking, should I play along? Is this a trap? Is this attractive person alluring me? Are they gonna let me fall in love with them and not fall in love back with me? Are they gonna make me feel like I can be a friend, but then they'll be too busy for me? Gosh, pile number 3, I love your character. So there's a lot of allure, a lot of not knowing, hey, am I gonna be trapped in and admire this character and then feel like I can't be part of it? Will pile number 3 break my heart, or will they turn out to be just so nice? And I am seeing that you don't mean to ever pull out any traps or do anything. You're just so playful by nature. You are confident with your allure and your playfulness, and you know you have it, pile number 3. People know you have it and are just charmed by you, pile number 3. This is the most charming pile I've ever had. I mean, I've seen a lot of charming piles for sure, but this amount of allure and playfulness and attractiveness It's just so unique in this pile. And if you're pile number 3, please leave me a flower down below. I'd love to get to know you and know more about you, pile number 3. Such a unique person there. Okay, so let's pull out another card and get to know more about you, pile number 3. What else do people see as a first impression of you, pile number 3? Ooh, you have the Two of Swords here, and notice how this Two of Swords, they have their head on their hat, and it's like almost a home on their head with 2 birds. So look, pile number 3. This is interesting. I'm not going to like what I'm going to say at all, but I'm here to read what people think, and it's the real world here. What I see with this Two of Swords, pile number 3, is that you're so here attractive and alluring that you really harbor a lot of infidelity. You don't mean it. That's not you. What I'm trying to say is that while other people could be in another relationship, they feel so allured by you, and they sometimes are blinded when they play along with you, and on top of their head they're thinking, oh, but I should be loyal, I shouldn't be flirting around like that. Granted, if they think of being unloyal to their partner, they're going to be greatly disappointed by you, because you're not going to harbor this kind of behavior. Look, you have a lot of people who are interested in you. You're not going to pick to be with someone who's in another relationship. You're not worried about having people like you, or what's the word here? Validated. You're not waiting to be validated or compared by other people, pile number 3. But you do have a lot of people around you as a first impression of saying, gosh, this looks like trouble. And you have a lot of people thinking back and forth, no, I shouldn't be playing like that, shouldn't be doing that. Maybe my partner is not going to like my interaction with you. There's a lot of that type of thinking as a first impression. Perhaps their partner won't like that you're around sometimes, even though you have nothing to do with it, but perhaps not trusting what their partners are going to do with you. So I'm so sorry for that, pile number 3. You have that kind of with everything amazing comes other things, and this is not your fault, pile number 3. I do frankly see you here as being playful but respectful at the same time. It's who you are as a character, and it has to be other people who harbor and stay loyal to their loved ones, and it's not your job here, pile number 3. In fact, I do see you careful. If anything crosses the line, you're not going to accept it. They're really going to be disappointed, and they're going to see an unplayful side to you, pile number 3, calling off. So yeah, good for you, pile number 3. Okay, so what are people's first impressions about you? What an interesting character. We can go on with this pile and finally discover more about you, pile number 3, for a very long time. So what else is about you, my dear pile number 3? You have the 8 of Wands, and it's depicted in a really nice way, like walking their own lane, enjoying their own life in peace. Yeah. Didn't I tell you in the beginning? You seem to be the person who does things effortlessly without complaining. You're focused on your own life, pile number 3. Ooh, and you have transformation. Of course, with 18 being the moon and transformation here, it gives off the impression that we talked about in the beginning, of you transforming and quietly fixing issues, challenges, even troubles in a setting quietly. If things go wrong, you're not going to panic and go, oh my god, what is happening there? You seem to be cool, collected, and you move on quickly to just fix it and let things going. So with the moon and transformation, you come across as a person who's quiet, collected, fix things gracefully and calmly, does not panic. Lovely. You're a strong person emotionally, pile number 3. You're not the sort of person who allows themselves to panic over a lot of things. You have a lot of emotional internal balance in you that allows you to fix things slowly and go about life calmly, pile number 3. Because even with the Eight of Wands is all about action taking, movement, moving forward. And even with that, you can see how chilled you are with the Eight of oh, I'm sorry. Well, take in what I said because it was channeled, but this is the Eight of Pentacles. It's also about work. Okay, great. It's the same thing. You work with peace, pile number 3. You go about your job, you go about your life, and you're not like, oh, I'm tired, oh, I can't take this anymore. Or you fix things slowly, and you seem to have an elegant way of doing your work. You know what your responsibilities are, and people love watching you do things calmly, smoothly. You have your back straight when you're working. You take good care of how you look while you're working. You take good care of yourself, perhaps even at home when no one's watching. And you do them peacefully. You find a way to, because of your internal peace, you find a way to move along life. You accept life as it is. You know that some things are challenging, some things are not, and you just take things in calmly. People love watching how you do that, pile number 3. If you have people at work with you, they just watch how you calmly handle challenges, calmly handle things while you're working, and you look very handsome or pretty as you're working. You seem calm and cool, and you just go about it. You might not like the load, but you shrug and you go, oh well, we'll have to finish it. And it's the same with everything else in life. You have this beautiful aura that we talked about even before this card came out, of how you transform and work quietly towards the things that you need to do, and you do it in such grace, such peace, that it almost looks from the outside that it's easy to do, easy to apply. People are inspired and love how good you look when you're going about your day and doing what you need to do, and you inspire people to take that energy and do the same things and empower and what's the word, and embody your power. Pile number 3. Gosh, I love pile number 3. Thank you for being our inspiration. Love you guys. And so pile number 3, that was your reading on what people's first impressions are of you. Thank you for hanging around on my channel. I truly appreciate it. And if you've enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 4. So you've chosen the interesting cloak here. And what I see straight away about you, pile number 4, is that people's first impression of you is that you're quite a private person. People have to get to know you, to know more about you. And that's not intimidation, that's just your choice. You're a private person, pile number 4. And you're a very good listener. You like to listen to people's different perspectives. You like to sit down and watch everyone as they're talking, seeing who they are, studying the room, observe what other people do first and listen to them. But when you do talk, people are quite surprised with how sharp you are. And there is a lot of mystery to you, pile number 4. People they want to unveil you, but it's not easy for them to unveil who you are and what you think and what you do in your life because of the privacy that you respect. You only give this sort of information to the close people around you. You're pleasant to be around, but I'm hearing Michael Jackson's song, A Smooth Criminal, dun, 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 dun. And what I'm seeing here straight away is that you're very smooth, pile number 4. And with that, I mean, if you're sitting down in a group setting and you're not enjoying your time, you don't like it, it's not your vibe, they're not talking about interesting things that you like, you're able to smoothly take yourself out of this, go out, and then people are like, hey, where's John? Where's pile number 4? How did they slip? And it's like you have this invisible cloak. You easily take yourself out of situations. You easily let yourself in if you want. And while everyone's wondering, hey, where is John or where is pile number 4? You're out doing something you like, went to your favorite ice cream shop, enjoying your ice cream and peace. And so pile number 4, you do respect your inner peace very much. You only leave yourself, you have one life to live, and you want to live it in peace. You want to live it doing enjoyable things. And if you're in a certain situation or a certain job, perhaps, as much as you can, you plan at least to take out of yourself of situations that are not serving you, that are not giving you this internal peace that you love, pile number 4. And that impression is observed very strongly about you. They can see that you're a smart person, because when you do talk, you have something very interesting to say. And it's kind of like a little peek into this cloak. People find you to be a very interesting person when you do say certain things, and they take a glance at what sort of sophisticated person you are, pile number 4. You are a very sophisticated person. It shows initially, but people find out more about it when they get to know you little by little. And here's the thing with you, pile number 4. You are very comfortable with yourself. You're humble, and you already know how amazing you are to yourself. And you're not interested in boasting. You're so much at peace. If people pick it up, great. If they don't, whatever, you know. And you're moving along, focusing on your life, doing what is interesting to you, building your life, growing, in fact. And with the cloak here, I see, pile number 4, is that you grow, I don't want to say in secrecy, but you grow, what's the word I'm looking for? Quietly. You're not out saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to start my own business, I'm going to read this book, I'm going to learn this language, I'm going to do this and that, and you're very quiet. You have a lot of goals for yourself. You're very much about enjoying life and growing, and you're not waiting for other people to be impressed by it at all. And so you go about your life quietly building it and working on yourself and working on your goals and improving yourself, that when you do actually make an achievement, it goes bang, and people are like, whoa, when did pile number 4 do this? How did this happen? You constantly surprise people, pile number 4, but by what you're capable of doing, because you have stamina, my friends. And you are very motivated towards creating a better life for yourself, a better you. A new me, new life, I can't remember. Anyways, so yes, you're very focused on yourself. You're not focused about impressing others. And people, when they first meet you, this is why they realize there's so much mystery to you, so much sophisticated, but they can't put their finger on what it is and what you're doing, what you're up to, and you harbor a lot of curiosity towards you, pile number four. This is why when you finally speak, the room goes quiet. Now they're finally getting a piece of you. And they need to fill in this curiosity, the question marks that they have about your sophistication, your presence, the smart things that you say. You'll have people trying to smartly unveil this side of you, and you can see it. You can see they're being smart here. And you choose during the conversation whether you feel like, yeah, that's okay for me to share, and you share your opinion and talk about it, or whether you feel it's sleazy and you are not a person who people can drag information out of unless you decide to give it out. You can see this sleaziness. And if you feel like someone is trying to be smart and thinking they can, in a smart way, pull out information from you, getting to know information about other people that you know about, or private information about your life, or even if it's a silly thing, but they're doing it in a sleazy way, they will never be able to drag this information out of you, pile number four. And that's the impression that you give. You give off an impression of being private, selective, very strong headed towards what you want to say and what you don't want to say. And you, just like the smooth criminal that I've heard in the beginning, if someone tries to corner you into getting more information about you, trying to let you say something that you don't want or whatever, you smoothly know how to take yourself out of it. Perhaps you joke, change the conversation from this to something else. You're very smart. People aren't going to be able to work around it. If you want to say something, you're going to say it. If you don't, you won't, and that is that. Pile number four. Pile number four, initially you're going to come off as a person who knows how to protect their boundaries very well. You give off this strong look with your eyes and your body language, and you seem from the very beginning that you're not someone to be messed around with at all. Maybe when they get to know you more, they'll get to realize how much depth you have and what you can allow and what you can't when you start trusting them. But in the beginning, there's no joke about it. Pile number three, you're not going to allow bad behavior, especially with the cloak here. You are also someone who's good at, some of you have a poker face. You don't show your emotions quickly, especially as this is what comes out as a first impression of you. And if it's not about being a poker-faced, people as a first impression of you don't know what you're thinking, don't know what you're feeling. They don't know if you liked what they said, if they didn't. You're good at managing your emotions with people, and this raises a lot of curiosity as well. People just cannot understand what you're about as a first time they meet you. At least in the beginning, pile number four, which is what this reading is about, what are people's first impressions of you. You are able to keep your emotions private to you, and it doesn't show what you overly liked, what you didn't like that much. It's all kept very calmly within you. You take note of who you like. You don't necessarily gush about it. You take note of what you don't like, the people you don't like, and it's an internal note. You don't react to your emotions, especially in the beginning. Pile number four. And that's what's giving off all these mysterious vibes to you. Pile number four. Definitely see why a lot of people are curious to know more about you. And I'm not gonna lie to you, sophistication is coming off very strong. So sophistication, you could perhaps dress in a sophisticated way. The things you talk about seem sophisticated. Perhaps the props you're holding yeah, you seem like you come from a sophisticated life, and that again drives a lot of curiosity towards you, pile number 4. You almost seem that like you come from another world, especially with you over cloaking or being private with your information. Perhaps when people get to know you later, they see the sophistication, but they kind of feel like, oh yeah, they feel relatable, sophisticated but relatable. But in the beginning, you seem like you come from another mystical world that you can see in the movies, perhaps. Something of that sort. Pile number 4. Ooh, the Chariot. You have the Chariot here. I love this card in this deck. You see the Chariot here being depicted as moving slowly. And the first impression that people see of you, first, of course, the snail glides. So it's again this, first of all, this smooth criminal thing, gliding off what you don't like, that we talked about in the beginning. But you also seem to be a person who's strong. You cannot be pushed into doing things that you haven't thought about well. People can't just push you to go somewhere like, hey, we're all moving there, let's go. Or, hey, why don't you do that? No. You seem to be a person who moves at your own pace. That shows in your body language, and it also shows in your character and in the way you talk. You take time to think and respond. You take time to see if you like people's suggestions on what they are suggesting for you to do or not. You're not rushed. You're not in a hurry. You have this peace towards you that you're protecting very much. You want to continue to keep that peace. Pile number 4. And you do your best to stay in that peaceful vibe. This quiet, tranquil vibe that you so much enjoy about life. Pile number 4. Ooh, pile number 4, you have the Page of Pentacles. So straight away, for some weird reason, I heard in my head European. So you could either be European, from European origins, traveled and lived in Europe, or not at all. It's just for some of you here, pile number 4. But what I clearly see here for you with the Page of Pentacles is that you seem to have a unique skill to you that people love to watch. So that skill could be perhaps dancing or drawing a beautiful voice. Something very talented about you, pile number 4. I think when you present yourself, perhaps you talk about it, and some people, when they have private conversations with you in the beginning, they find out more about it and they're mind blown by this talent or these talents. So they could be your prowess in business, they could be your education. And so when they get to know a little bit about you, they go, whoa, you have that and you're quiet? Oh my God, if I had these things, I'd be boasting about them. But pile number 4, you're not about boasting here, but you're so used to people being surprised to find out how unique you are, how, I gotta say it, amazing you are with these amazing skills, or perhaps the life you lived. You have something that flabbergasts people when they get to know about. You've lived a special life. Perhaps you traveled. This is why Europe is coming up. Perhaps you traveled around the world or traveled to different countries. You have certain skills. There's something super unique about you, and you know it. You're not out there trying to boast about it, but when people find out in the beginning, they're like, what? And they are flabbergasted by the fact that you have all this uniqueness to you, but was so humble to not even mention it, so classy to not have talked about it, or even presented as your being part of why you are unique, pile number 4. And the reason for that is because you are self-confident and you do not label yourself by certain things that happened in your life. You're grateful to them, you're grateful for your skills, but you know skills go up and down, life goes up and down, and you stay where you are. You are special and unique no matter how life or whatever happens goes up and down. And that's why you present yourself with this humbleness. You're not running trying to excitedly show people who you are. You already know it and you're very fulfilled with it. But when people get to know about you, pile number 4, they are impressed. And pile number 4, if you want to share in the comment section what are these unique things about you, I'd love to learn more about you. But in general, if you, because I see here you're a private person, I respect that. You can leave a star in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to take that, pile number 4. All right, so let's see what else you. Ooh, you have strength, and boy, am I not surprised. Pile number 4. So yes, people's first impression about you. Of course, you come off as a very strong person. You come off as having a very strong personality. But most importantly, you come off as someone who's quite self-disciplined with their emotions. Everything shows that you're self-disciplined. This peek into your life when people get to know more about what you do or who you are. This self-discipline of not trying to impress anyone. This self-discipline of your emotions until you get to study the area. Your self-discipline of not rushing in to share. And it stems from real internal strength of you actually being a self-disciplined person, and people can sense it. People can sense that you're not someone who they can mess with at all. Pile number 4. You might be a little nice when people talk to you. They'll sense you're a nice person, but again, not too emotional actually, but pleasant to talk to. And they can sense your power, and it makes them very careful about always making sure you're comforted, that you didn't like something, because you are quick to show it, perhaps with your eyes, with you showing that you didn't like that, you weren't comfortable, like what is that kind of attitude. And people can see how you respect your boundaries, how you respect what you don't like. They can quickly see your internal strength and respect you for it, pile number 4. So respect is definitely people's first impression of you, that you give out respect and you are expecting respect, and you're gonna have it, that is for sure. You're not waiting for people to make that choice for you. You make it for yourself, pile number 4. I'm also seeing something here. You come out as a sophisticated but a simple person, and perhaps your sophistication actually stems from your simplicity, pile number 4. You worry about a lot of things that people tend to perhaps forget about. You could be so concerned about the planet and you respect it, so concerned about loud noise so that you don't irritate other people. You're concerned about things going right for the well-being of the collective and not just for yourself. And it comes out very strong. So while you may not be sharing a lot of things, you will be sharing what you don't see as not right. You could give a little word or two here. Are you sure this is not too much plastic here? Don't you think the next time perhaps you could do this and that? Things of that sort. And the reason you speak out about it is because we never said from the beginning that you were ever a weak person. You're a very strong person. You just like to be private. And when it's time for you to share something, pile number 4, you will be sharing it. So you have the 2 of Wands, the 8 of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. Whoa, all these wands, pile number 4. And what I'm seeing here straight away with your cards, that you may seem like quiet on the outside, not much going on your internal world, pile number 4. You have so much fun. There's traveling here. You could either be traveling or you could be involved in different activities. You're passionate about so many things. You're building your life and being passionate about it. And the reason this is popping up in your what's people's first impression about you is that even though you cloak your life so well, your life on the inside seems so much fun, it's so fulfilling, so fruitful, that it peeps out of you even when you're trying to be super private, pile number 4. So perhaps you get a phone call and people hear about something that you're going to do next week. Perhaps you open your bag and people catch a glance at a ticket for you traveling. They add you on Facebook or Instagram and they see that you have all these an interesting business that you're doing. It just shows from you, pile number 4. No matter how much you try to keep yourself private, as a first impression, one way or the other, because of the internal interesting plethora of things that you're doing, one thing or the other pops up. Perhaps you have your gym clothes in your bag and people go, oh, you do ballet, for example. It just pops up one way or the other. And what I'm seeing here for you is that people say, whoa, this must be a very interesting person. I would love to get to know more about them. And that's the first impression that you give, pile number 4. It was an honor doing this reading for you. And if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye!